Stampers, it's Judy Klock here. I'm still trying to play with the lights. We're in my new studio and we're trying to make sure that the lights are good, but I think I got some shadows tonight. Hopefully by next week we'll have more lights in here. But anyway, hello, happy Thursday. I wanted to come on tonight. I'm going to be at the Berryville Craft Fair on Saturday, so I'm kind of excited. It's my first craft fair in over a year that we're going to be in person. So I'm really looking forward to it. I'm praying that it's not too hot. Like today would have been, the weather today was gorgeous. So I wanted to come up with something really quick that I could do as quick Father's Day presents, because Father's Day is on Sunday. So I was scrolling through Facebook and I came upon, I forget what site, maybe Stamp Junkies or Stampin' Up! Products Only, I forget which one. But I came across this box by Gloria Plunkett. So this is cased from Gloria Plunkett. She calls this her boozy box with chocolates. So realizing that I probably can't really sell booze, I came up with another one. I went to Walmart and I came up kind of with like the Outdoorsman's box. So it's got 3 little fishing bobbers in there, a little tiny flashlight. How cool is that? I forgot to take the thing out. But so this is my version of her boozy chocolate. I'll show you what she did. She did like one of the mini bottles of booze and 3 like Ferrero Rochers or Lindor truffles. So that was the original one that Gloria did. So this is great if you're giving it as a gift, but I really can't sell the alcohol. I'm not licensed to sell alcohol, so I couldn't do that. So I came up with a different version for my craft fairs. I'm going to have one there tomorrow as a sample to show people what they can also do if they so choose to. But in the meantime, we're going to make like the little Outdoorsman's box. So I went ahead and I, excuse me, have everything cut and scored because there's a lot of moving pieces. But isn't that cute? I think it's so adorable. So let's go ahead and get started. So I'm using Mossy Meadow. Now this is a retired DSP. It's from from the old catalog, A Beautiful World or something along those lines. But I kind of thought it had more like that camouflage look that might appeal to like outdoorsmen. It's not exactly camo, but so I figured, well, I have some, let me use it. So these are all the pieces that we need. So we have our box top. And this is 4.5 by 5 7/8 scored at 3/4 of an inch all the way around. All right. Then we have our box bottom. And this is 5 7/16 by 6 7/8. And that's scored at 1 1/4 inches all around. And I will go ahead and add these measurements. After the video is done, I'll go ahead and go back and add the measurements. I'll edit the post. Then we have the booze and chocolate divider. And this is 4 3/8 by 5 1/8. And we scored it along the 5 1/8 inch side at 1 3/8, 2 1/2, and 3 5/8. Then we have a 1 1/2 inch piece. This is going to be to make the chocolate divider. This is 1 1/2 by 10 1/2, and we scored it along the 10 1/2 inch side at 3/4, 2 1/4, 3 3/8, 4 1/2, 6, 7 1/8, 8 1/4, and 9 5/8. Okay, so that's all the scoring that we did for the box. Now, we had some designer series paper and some coordinating cardstock. So the designer series paper is for the top, you needed 2 3/4 by 4 1/8. Then you needed 2 at 4 1/8 by 1/2. And you needed 2 at 2 3/4 by 1/2. Then we had coordinating cardstock, and I just picked basic black. And those were 2 7/8 by 4 1/4. Then we had 2 at 5/8 of an inch by 4 1/4. And 2 at 2 7/8 by 5 5/8. So those are all the pieces. I've already adhered the DSP to the black cardstock just to kind of save that step. But I think you know what I'm talking about. All right, so let's go ahead and work on our box top first. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take my paper bone and I'm just going to burnish along all of these fold lines. Okay. And how's everybody doing today? And these actually go together pretty quickly. I did my sample one on my lunch break today, so that tells you how quickly it goes together. And then we're going to cut from the edge all the way into that first score line, just on the long sides. And then we're going to glue those up. Now, I like to go ahead and kind of trim this little flap that's going to be folded over, just to make it lay a little bit nicer in the box. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. And we're just going to do that and do that. Okay, now I'm going to pull in, I think I'm going to pull in my silicone mat. And I'm going to take my liquid glue, and I suggest a really strong glue, like liquid glue or even like tear and tape, but I would do the liquid glue. Okay, whoop. And then we're just going to fold these up. So just like any other box, you just take those flaps and fold them up. And we're just going to hold those there just for a minute. And I'm so excited. I opened up my July class, and I'm going to be featuring the sweet ice cream. I just thought it was perfect for July. Hot summer days, you're waiting for the ice cream man to come by. So when we're done, I'll show you some of those designs for that class. So registration is open. And then I'm also doing an in-person Christmas in July Stamp-A-Stack. So if you're in the Northern Virginia, Winchester area, register for that on July 19th from 2 to 4. Come on out, make 10 Christmas cards. It's free with a $25 purchase or $20 without a purchase. And you can buy additional sets if you want. So that's our box top. Let's work on our box bottom. Again, we're going to burnish along all of our score lines. Let me just take that out of the way for a minute. Just to get those folds nice and crisp. And there we go. All right. I hope you'll try this. It's like I said, it's a really fun little box to do, and it goes together quickly. Again, we're going to cut from the edge up to that fold, the score line on the long side. And again, I'm just going to kind of trim these down a little bit. Just my little idiosyncrasy that I do just to make it look nice. And it just makes it easier when I fold it in. It just kind of folds in nicer. Okay. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Okay. All right, there we go. Now we're just going to do the same thing. We're going to take the flaps and we're going to just kind of add some liquid glue and go ahead and fold those over. And you just have to hold them in place just a couple of seconds. The glue sets fairly quickly and it holds really well. Okay, now when Gloria did hers, she did thick basic white cardstock, but I kind of like using the colored cardstock, and I don't think the boxes are going to get, that much wear and tear. So I think you're fine with the colored cardstock. And I'm wearing my sweatshirt because it is so cold in my house. My husband and I have very differing, I guess, body temperature regulators. He's always hot and I'm always cold. All right, I'm going to set the bottom aside for a minute. I'm going to come back. I'm going to pull in my top, and I'm going to go ahead and add my designer series paper and my coordinating cardstock. Okay, and this is going to be, it's not going to be a lot shown, so it's just a little peek of color of all the different colors. Okay, got that. Let's go ahead and do our sides. And if you want, you could do this before you fold it up. It might be easier when this is still flat. to actually add these, but again, it's your call. And you got a little bit of wiggle room with the liquid glue, so it's all good. This back in just. But I just think this is such a fun little design, and you know, you could change it up, and you know, for like Mother's Day or graduation. I mean, there's so many different things you could put in there. You know, somebody's 21st birthday, how cute would that be? To give them a little boozy box with some chocolates in there for their 21st birthday. High school graduates, give them some chocolate, maybe roll up some cash. Cash is always good. Who doesn't like some good old-fashioned cash? Okay, and we got one more side to just put the DSP on. So I'm also, hold the date of August, oh my gosh, I think it's August 14th. I'm going to be doing another retreat. I'm going to have two options, either virtual or in person. So we're going to party together on the 14th. I'm just so excited to have in-person events again. I can't wait to craft with everyone. All right, we're going to lay that aside. Now we're going to work on our insert. So now you have this one. We're going to fold this kind of like an accordion. Okay, you want it to look like a big, kind of like a big W. And then we're going to take, this is going to be our separator for our booze bottle or our flashlight and our other three compartments. So see these two middle pieces? You want to put the glue on these two middle pieces. Okay, and we're just going to fold those together. Boom. There we go. And that is going to create our divider. Now, before I put it in, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add some glue to the bottom of my box. Not much. Again, just a little bit. All right. And we're just going to slip that in there. And there we go. Now, that's going to be, excuse me, grab some water. Okay. That's going to be the divider. We're going to have the booze or the flashlight on one side and the chocolates or the fishing bobbers on the other. Now we have this big long piece. Again, we kind of want to fold this kind of like an accordion. Now you'll see there are two pieces, two little sections that are the same side. Those are going to form the dividers, just like we did for the chocolate. So when all is said and done, you're going to have it looking like this. Okay, and again, we're going to take and put the glue on these two portions and fold them up to create like little mountains almost. Okay, cap my glue. All right, so we got that one. And then we've got this one. All right. And then we're going to have, whoops, that one didn't hold. And that's going to fit in that box just like that. All right, I'm going to add a little bit of glue on the bottom here. And maybe just a little bit of glue to these two sides. Okay, and then I am going to go ahead and slide this into our box. Now, push that down, make sure it holds. Now, when you're ready, you can go ahead and you can put in your little gifts. There's 3 pieces of chocolate. And again, this was cased from Gloria Plunkett. So you can look her up. And then we have our box top. But how cute is this? So I'm actually going to bring one of these with me and give it to my friend who's also going to be at the craft fair. So this will be a little present for her to take home to her husband. Then I'm going to take out the sentiment. It says, to one of the world's greatest dads. It's from the Handsomely Suited stamp set. And I'm just going to stamp it. I think I'm going to stamp it in Mossy Meadow. But let me clean off my stamp because I stamped it in Tuxedo Black on my sample. I wanted to change it up. Okay. And of course, I'm just going to put this on with some And you can see I had a scrap piece of white paper that I'm using. You know, don't waste those scraps. Paper has two sides. You can always use the back for something else. Let me get that out of the way. Hey Dee, how are you? Don't forget, if you're watching this, leave me you know, a like, or let me know that you're here. No raffles today, but I'll send you a couple of cards from another week if you leave me a little note or a little thumbs up. And that's it. That's it. So these are our 2 boxes. So again, these are the ones I'm going to be selling at the craft fair with the flashlight and the fishing bobbers. And if you want to make one for a gift, you can go ahead and add a little bottle of booze and some chocolates. And that's it for this edition of Stampin' with Crafty Klock. Thanks so much for stopping by. If you're catching on the replay, let me know. I hope you all have a great weekend. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there, dads, uncles, cousins, brothers, you know, whatever you are. We hope you have a great weekend. Talk to you next week. Bye.